600 grams. That is the weight of a can of soda. 600 kilograms. That is the weight of a small car. And here is the craziest part. Both of those numbers belong to the same creature. The same body, the same heart. Only 12 years apart. No large mammal on Earth increases its weight 1,000 times from birth to adulthood. None. Except the polar bear. But the numbers are only half the story. The other half is the journey. A journey from a blind, deaf, hairless, completely helpless creature to the absolute ruler of the harshest ecosystem on the planet. And today, we will follow that entire journey, from its very first breath to the day it claims the throne of the Arctic. This is a story documented by scientists over 12 years of continuous observation. Every detail is based on real data. Let us call the mother bear in this story Aga, an ancient Inuit word meaning mother, and her two newborns, we will call them Yuki and Miki. Uki, the male, weighs 630 grams. Miki, the female, weighs 580 grams. If you saw them right now, you would never believe they are bears. They look like rats. Why are polar bear newborns so incredibly small? The answer lies in evolutionary biology. The mother must fast for 4 to 8 months inside the den. If the fetus were large, her body would run out of energy before giving birth. And polar bear milk is the richest milk in the entire mammalian world. 33% fat, thick as whipped cream. 10 times richer than human milk. That is not milk. That is liquid rocket fuel. With that fuel, Yuki and Miki gain nearly 1 kilogram per week. In 3 months, they will weigh 15 times their birth weight. But Aga pays dearly. When she entered the den, she weighed 300 kilograms. When she leaves, she will weigh only 170. Nearly half of her body has flowed into her cubs. March. 100 days after Uki and Miki were born, Aga makes the most important decision, opening the den. Too early, the cubs cannot survive the cold. Too late, Aga runs out of fat and milk. She must calculate exactly by instinct the perfect moment between two kinds of perishing. Uki reacts first. He squints, eyes that have only ever known darkness, and steps out. His paw touches snow. Cold. Strange. He stands wobbling on the slope, looking out at the world for the first time. And that world is a blank, white page, stretching to infinity. Researchers call this moment the emergence. 90% of cubs fall within their first 10 steps. Uki is not in the lucky 10%. He falls at step 6. Aga does not help. She stands at the top of the slope and watches her cub fall. It sounds cruel, but this is survival lesson number 1. No one will pick you up but yourself. Miki waits 2 more hours before stepping out. And when she does not fall. She watched Uki fall, and she chose to step more slowly. Personality has begun to diverge. And in the Arctic, personality is not just a trait, it is a survival strategy. From the day they leave the den, Aga has roughly 4 months to teach her cubs 4 life or death skills. Begins. 4 skills, 4 chances, no retakes. Skill 1, walking on ice. Imagine a featureless white plain stretching to the horizon. No visible difference between ice 1 meter thick and ice 2 centimeters thin. One wrong step, plunging into water at -2 degrees. A 10-kilogram cub will suffer hypothermia in 4 minutes. Uki steps onto darker ice, a sign of thin ice. Aga immediately pushes him back with her snout. She teaches by action, not words. She walks ahead. They follow. No gentleness, no negotiation. The Arctic does not allow softness. Skill 2, swimming. An adult polar bear can swim 700 kilometers without stopping, a GPS-documented record from Alaska. But a 4-month-old cub jumping into water at -2 degrees. That is a gamble. Uki jumps. For the first 3 seconds, he panics completely, paws thrashing, muzzle going under, eyes wide with terror. Then instinct kicks in, front paws paddling in circles, outer fur repelling water, fat layer insulating. 30 seconds later, Uki is swimming. 30 seconds later, Uki is swimming, clumsy but alive. Miki walks around, finds a narrower gap, jumps to the next flow without touching water. 2 strategies, both valid. But one day, there will be no flow to jump to. Skill 3. Scent tracking. A polar bear's nose can detect a seal from 32 kilometers away. That is not a sense of smell, that is a superpower. Yuki does not yet know what a seal smells like, but when Aga lowers her head and presses her nose to the ice, Yuki imitates. He is calibrating the most sophisticated sensor he owns. Skill 4. The hardest of all, patience. An adult bear can lie motionless beside a breathing hole for 12 hours at -40 degrees, waiting for the half second when a seal surfaces. For a cub, 12 minutes is a miracle. Uki lasts 20 minutes before chasing a snowflake. Milky lasts 45, then falls asleep. Patience is not born, it is forged, and forging it takes 2 years. Arctic summer. 2 words every polar bear researcher dreads. When the ice melts, seals disappear into open water. Bears are stranded on land, and on land there is almost nothing to eat. Aga has lost another 20 kilograms since leaving the den. Her ribs are beginning to show, her milk is running dry, and Uki, always playing, always running, is burning energy twice as fast as Miki. Researchers have measured 1 hour of play burns calories equal to 1 small fish meal. He plays 6 hours a day. He is burning himself alive. Miki is different. She lies still, sleeps 16 hours a day, moves slowly, eats anything she finds, including seaweed that most cubs refuse. She is saving every calorie like an accountant, saving every penny. And that strategy will make all the difference. Because this summer lasts 3 weeks longer than normal, 3 extra weeks without food, 3 extra weeks burning fat reserves, 3 weeks that, for a growing cub, could be the line between living and not. But hunger is not the only threat. There is another danger from their own kind. Adult male bears. During extreme famine, they can become a threat to cubs. A 600-kilogram male needs 12,000 calories per day. When there are no seals, instinct drives them to seek any source of protein. Aga detects the male from 2 kilometers away. She transforms instantly, from gentle mother into fortress. She pushes Uki and Mickey behind her and stands her ground. The standoff, 20 minutes. No snarling. No retreating. Nobody moves. The male turns and walks away, not because he fears Aga, because he calculates. This time. But mothers do not always win. 10 to 20% of cubs do not survive their first year. Second winter, the ice returns. And for Uki, this is exam season. Success rate for inexperienced adult hunting seals at a breeding hole, 2 to 5%. For a first-time juvenile, nearly 0. Uki does not know that. He only knows hunger. And he begins to try. Attempt 1, too slow. Attempt 10, right timing, wrong position. Attempt 30, both correct, but the seal slips free at the last second. 73 consecutive failures. 73 times lying in the freezing cold for hours. 73 times getting up, finding another hole, and starting over. But with each failure, Uki refines. He learns to approach from downwind. He learns to read active breathing holes from abandoned ones, by scent, by ice patterns, by tiny bubbles. He learns the perfect striking position, not too high, not too low. And on the 92nd day of winter, Uki lies beside a breathing hole. Absolute silence. 3 hours pass. Then, bubbles. A seal's nose breaks the surface. Uki strikes. Perfect. The seal does not escape. He pulls it onto the ice. Standing there, panting, looking at his first catch, after 73 failures, 92 days, 18 months of learning. Aga stands far away. She does not approach. This is his victory. 2.5 years. That is the average. 2.5 years a polar bear mother gives, feeding, protecting, teaching, and then, with no graduation, no farewell, no tears, she simply walks away. She increases the distance, each day a little farther, waiting a little less, until one morning she is no longer there. Uki wakes up, looks around. Aga is nowhere. He sniffs the air, her scent fading. He takes a few steps in that direction, then stops. He does not follow. Miki stands beside him, then stops. He does not follow. Miki stands beside him. They will stay together a few more weeks. Then life pulls them apart. A doe will find a new mate, carry new cubs, dig a new den. The circle never stops.
4 hours of
600 kilograms. Uki, the 600-gram cub that once tumbled at the den entrance, is now one of the largest males in the Beaufort Sea. 14 years old, over 3 meters tall, paws 40 centimeters wide, fat layer 20 centimeters thick. He lies beside a breathing hole. Does not move. 4 hours. And when the seal surfaces 1/10 of a second, his paw strikes with flawless precision. The lesson Aga taught 12 years ago is now pure reflex. From 600 grams to 600 kilograms. From blind, deaf, hairless to the ruler at the top of the food chain. From 73 failures to perfection. That is the polar bear. That is evolution. That is the power of patience. Somewhere on that frozen expanse, Miki, the cautious cub who saved every calorie, is now a mother. She leads 2 cubs out of the den for the first time. One steps out and falls. Just like Yuki. Just like millions of cubs before. And Miki watches.
The world these
Calm,
new cubs will inherit
patient.
is visibly different.
Because that is the first lesson. And the first lesson never changes. But the world around it is changing. Every decade, the Arctic loses 13% of its sea ice. Summers grow longer. Gaps between flows grow wider.
Millions of years
Some
of
scientists
evolution have
predict
shaped
that within
this
30
world and
years,
its
the
inhabitants.
Arctic may be completely ice-free in summer. If that happens, Miki's cubs will grow up in an entirely different world. A world where every survival lesson passed down through millions of years of evolution may no longer be enough. But polar bears have proven one thing throughout their history. They adapt. They change. They find a way. From 600 grams to 600 kilograms. From darkness to light. From complete helplessness to absolute dominance. If there is one creature on Earth resilient enough to face an uncertain future, it is the species that has survived millions of winters. The only question is, will we, humans, give them enough time to adapt?